And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel for another Final Friday funeral party brought to you by our friends over at Exalted Funeral. My name's Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP. But every Final Friday of the month, including Black Friday, I sit down with my good buddy Jarrett, who's the project manager over at Exalted Funeral, and we talk about the latest and greatest things happening there, the nearly and dearly departed, things going out of stock, importance of things to come. Jarrett, tell people how your day has been this Black Friday. Things are slow, just relaxing after a big Thanksgiving day. Is that just taking it easy, right?
Well, yesterday I edited freelance style, 30,000 words. I got in a big chunk of Derek. I know Derek's listening, of Derek's game. And then I worked on some slivers and I worked on a few other things. And then our big sale launched last night. Luckily, my part of that is pretty minimal. I just hang out with everybody in a voice chat and watch everybody like buy a bunch of stuff really quick. But Kristen and Matt were up way late. And then, of course, Fiona has kicked absolute ass on getting a ton of stuff in for the store in stock. And David Hoskins is our new customer service person. And David has been having some fun. I've been watching on our Slack. Dave's been learning the ins and outs of our lovely sales this morning. Meanwhile, Beckett is hanging out back at home. And Beckett's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm just kidding. I love you, Beckett. I will call you Monday, I promise.
So basically, everybody's on call. Everything's on sale. People should go over and check out all the great things that are in stock right now. We're going to talk about some of those, though, in our first segment, the hearse. We're talking about what's on the way, things coming up, things that we can be expecting at Exalted Funeral over the next little bit. So, Jared, tell us a little bit about what's on the hearse.
If you go to exaltedfuneral.com and start, the way I like to do it is I like to go to the hamburger menu over the side, go to the catalog, and then go date new to old so I can see all the new stuff in. A brand new Blood Mill shirt. By Tiger Wizard over at Epic Levels, does our shirt designs for us for these special events. It's real solid. It's got some Adventure Time kind of like loose feel, but with a little bit of like some Sutherland like 80s TSR raw. Wonderful colors on that one. Sorry, I don't even want to talk about books. I just want to talk about apparel. No more books.
I ordered my first Exalted Funeral merch. One of the things I appreciated about Exalted Funeral is that they carry 3XL and 4XL sizes, which typically I can fit into a 2XL, but I'm more comfortable in a 3XL. And so I ordered me just the standard one yesterday on when I was placing my order for all the other things that were on sale. So I was super excited just about that, and I always love a good shirt, so I was a big fan of this one also.
And they're really soft too. I'm wearing my hot dye summer one. They're really super soft, and that's like a big thing for me. It's like I live in Florida, and so it's always gross here.
The wicking factor is very important to you.
Yes, very much so. Let's see what else. We've got a Mystic Punks bundle. We've got Mothership PSG with Picket Line Tango bundle. There is the UVG and Dice bundle sold out. Those dices are all gone now. Nate Tremay's new Haunted Almanac from Games Omnivorous, friends over there. That's in stock. Just kind of like scrolling down everything. Ooh, thing that piqued my interest that I need to remember to add to my employee cart is the Rebel Scum from 9th Level Games.
Yeah.
Based on Polymorph. I haven't played Polymorph. I know we talked a little bit about that last night.
I'm a big Polymorph fan. I don't know that I was there for that part of the conversation. We got to play mazes with Chris. I didn't pick up Bounty Hunter. Actually, it's one of my Zine Quest misses. So I've got a few that items I didn't realize that Sam Sorensen title was dropping yesterday, and so I had to go back to add that to my collection because I am a Sam Sorensen completionist, and so I need to buy stuff about what it's like to get wetter and wetter as my character plays through everything. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, same. So yeah, I'm just excited to pick up Rebel Scum, and then a bunch of other new things, EF exclusives that I worked with 11 lovely teams to get in. So you mentioned Sam's The Big Wet. We've got the Forest Primordia, which is just an amazing big old chunk of stuff. That's like totally a steal deal for Troika. JA did just an amazing job. Thank you for putting up with working with me on that one. Couple of more cool titles. Valley of Forbidden Churches. That one is low. I know I'm jumping ahead to the next section, okay. But that one is one of those that we're selling pretty quickly on that one. We'll probably do a reprint at some point, but if folks were wanting to get it before, before their friends all got it and were playing it and running it. And also Creatures of the Dying World, which is a bestiary for Morkborg. Johnny Bluesit did it. It's fantastic. Johnny, also thanks for working with me on that one. They're just it's part of the dance of getting these things to the printer and to the warehouse on time. It's a lot of me being like, well, try this. We get there eventually.
Yeah.
Couple titles from Diogo Barros, Beyond Man, which is 6 weird like post-human backgrounds for Troika, and then one of my favorites, Pax Reptiliana, which is like, what if all those weird conspiracy theories from like Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown when we were kids are real? Again, set up for Troika, so it just leans into that. We've got 2 alternate or optional character generation books. One's called Craftwork and the other one's called Old School Stylish. Those are both just interesting different ways to roll up some characters and apply some different sorts of style. Craftwork, name says it all. You're learning thief craft, you're learning sword craft, things like that. And then Old School Stylish that Chris did for use with OSE, but any of your other systems. Chris and I do some chatting about JRPGs now and again over on Thinking Adventures. Both big 8-bit nerds, and super cool there. There's a Nave scenario called Frozen Temple of Glacier Peak. Hi, Robin. Hope you're listening. I think that was
okay. There's one I have a question about that I didn't hear you talk about. Maybe it's not new. Maybe you don't like it. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Tell me about Arc Ball.
Sorry, it didn't appear on the page. Where is it at? Arc Ball, I just totally hate it. No, I love it. Dom did an amazing thing. So I'm a huge ball sport fan, like a big Liverpool fan. And also I like some throw ball and some basketball. And it's PBTA, so Powered by the Apocalypse. So it leans into that, built around that conversational style of play. But as someone, I was talking about this last night in the big chat, as someone who loves sports, but I understand a lot of people don't like emulating sports in RPGs 100%. I think it's a nice mix of sliding both of those worlds together. I have personally invented soccer in like BXD&D a couple of times as we've played. People are like, why are you making us like listen to you commentate on soccer? I was like, I don't know, I like it. And so I'm excited to bring Arc Ball to the page. Also, Dom's a fantastic artist. You should hire him.
Did Dom do the art in this also?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So Dom's Zine Quest 3 project, Power Words.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an alt magic system, but I was like, Dom, I need this to be a game. Like I need you to make like Dom's design is very crisp, very thoughtful, very intentional. I didn't realize they had done the art for this also too, though. I'm super excited to find that out. It was the first thing I added to my cart last night when I flipped through and saw it. I was not expecting it, but I just saw it, and I'm a big fan of future sport. Bad future sport movies is one of my favorite genres, and so something like Arc Ball and the drama that surrounds bad future sport movies is, I just think, a tremendous thing. So I'm always down for it.
Are you saying like the Rollerball and like the Running Man are bad movies? Because you're wrong.
No, I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm saying bad future sports, like or if you don't like the movies, then maybe they are bad. But I'm saying like the concept of here's a bad sport that we have made a movie about in the future. And the scene in Rollerball where the girl is freaking out and just shooting a laser at the trees in the distance is one of the best moments in cinematic history. I don't know how anybody. So I'm looking for a game that lets me recreate that at the table. And I think Arc Ball. I mean, obviously they're on spaceships floating through space, so we're gonna have to land on a planet so I can find some trees to shoot a laser at in the distance. But we'll make it work. And so I am super excited to get it and any other number of things. Like I said, I missed that Sam project, so I got to go back and order some more stuff now. But okay, so that's what's on the way, which is also kind of like what arrived today, right? Like the hearse just showed up. We just dropped off a bunch of stuff, but we've also got stuff that is about to go out of stock, right?
Yes.
So let's take a second to read through the obituaries.
Is it playing the music?
It is playing the music,
Okay.
but we can't hear the music. But now they can hear us talking about the music.
I know. I do this every time.
I forgot about it on the first one, so we just talked over it. And so Jono Redbeard says, I'm working on a rollerball suede using their vehicle mechanics. That's awesome. Oh, by the way, everybody, as always here on the Funeral Party, it's what is a party without gifts? The gifts that we have for you, you can enter by hitting follow and then hitting !FParty, and you can win something spooky from under Jarrett's desk. And so we're going to give away a couple of things. Jarrett, before we talk about the obits, what's one of the things we're going to give away today?
So these are all scratch and dent. These are all not brand new pristine copies. These are things that didn't make it out of our warehouse. We've got an electric bastion land.
How dare you?
I know, we do this every time. Tony's like, why can't I have all the free stuff? We have a UVG soft cover. We have a Cthulhu Dark hardcover. And then we've got a bag of zines. There's Bats, Wizards in the Waste. There's a Squishy in here. There's a couple issues of the Phylactery in here too. So yeah, nice little goodies to send out.
Awesome.
Oh, and I also am gonna give away a copy of Master PDF Editor Pro. It's one of my super favorite pieces of software. When we do the giveaway, we'll do reminders for everybody, but I'll have people email me at my work email, and I'll shoot them the activation code. Master PDF Editor Pro is a great accompaniment with Affinity. If folks are using any of the Affinity, like the publisher and designer suites, and I use it to flatten and compress PDFs all the time.
Awesome. I'm super excited. We got it. Everybody says, stop FPartying, y'all. I want to win. I think they're talking to the rest of the chat, because Derek wants all the things. We're going to give away a lot of stuff at the end, but it's all stuff that's coming straight from underneath Jarrett's spooky desk. Speaking of spooky things, we're talking about the nearly departed, what's about to go out of stock. Like we know we blew through some stuff last night, but what's other things that if people want, they should move on quickly?
So I mentioned Valley of the Forbidden Churches. earlier. It's one of the new exclusives that came out. Cramulus, you did a great job on that one. That's from Morkborg. That one's flying off the shelves, out of the warehouse baskets. And my good friend Mark Conway's Testudinea, which came out back during the summer during our free RPG 3 sale. And it's another magical, wonderful world for Troika. So that one's getting pretty low.
Awesome. And I just want to throw out there, I did forget to mention it earlier. iToaster is on sale for 50% off right now. If you have not picked up a physical copy of iToaster, you absolutely should.
That one was 6 copies over
the about to go out limit.
Right.
So y'all could put it over the edge right now if you wanted to. That's awesome though. Everybody's seen behind the scenes real quick. Awesome. So that's nearly departed. We've got that. Anything else that's about to go out of stock that people should grab now if they're worried about not being able to get it in the future?
I think we're pretty set up on stuff like that right now.
Cool.
I know like a few of the new things that came in from outside. We went through them pretty quickly, but I think we're sitting pretty good. Big reminder though that all of the EF exclusive zines that we printed are 50% off today. So you're getting like a bunch of stuff, like all of the fantastic stuff from the summer sale, all of the fantastic stuff from the Halloween sale, all of the stuff from this sale. It's all going buy. And
since it's half off, you can order twice as much. That's what
right.
That means.
You order two, and you order two, and you give them away to a friend.
That's right. So I'm super excited about that. What has recently gone out of stock? What's some things that we've lost in the last ones? What's our dearly departed zines?
See, I didn't do my research on that one, Tony. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So no one died this last month. That's all we know.
I got you. Fiskborg. It came. It got fished, and then they didn't put the fish back in the pond. No, Fiskborg came in, and we sold out almost immediately of that one. So here's to hoping that we get a reprint of that.
I do know. I think Adam still has some in stock over there also too. So, but I would love to print more too, I'm sure. And so, that's awesome. Let's take a look at our next segment. So every month here on Funeral Party, we aren't just generally talking about funerals. We're celebrating the life, the work, the death of one creator individually, and that happens during the course of our eulogy. Today, we're going to talk about the dearly departed, died in the year of 2096. We've summoned their ghost back through time and space. That's Wendi Yu. We love Wendy's work. Jarrett, when did you first meet Wendi?
My friend Frank posted up the book that we'll talk about in a second, if we can summon her ghost. A link to Wendy's Itch to Marvelous Mutations in Merry Musicians. And it happened to coincide about 6 or so weeks out from that big summer sale. And I was just like, hey, Wendi, can we print this? And she was really cool about it. And then again, did the Make Sam dance and got it in and got it out. I used to own a record label. I've been in bands and stuff, still play a little bit. So anything that has to do with music and specifically with Battle of the Bands type stuff is great. And then of course it's weird, it's mutations, it's post-apocalyptic. It was just like, oh yeah, we got to do this one.
Awesome. I am super excited about it. We never know for sure if this is going to work. But let's see if we can summon Wendy's specter from the future and across the veil. Wendi, can you hear us? Are you there?
Who is this?
Awesome. So I think we've got Wendi. Let me see if I can share Wendy's image live with the rest of you. Here we go. We've got Wendi Yu. Wendi, how's it going today?
Kind of dead, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we can live in the zone.
Live in the zone. Awesome. So we've got a few questions we always want to ask people here on Funeral Party. What did you have them do with your remains? Like, what was your final wishes to happen with your remains when you passed away?
To be honest, I want to be mummified.
Awesome. Where do you have a place you want to be interned? Do you want them to stick your body somewhere specific?
Nah, I think people should just build a dungeon and put my mummified remains at the end.
Like, you're the boss at the end of this dungeon?
Nah, I'm just the frustrating not treasure.
Not treasure. You show. It turns out that
you get a magic sword, and then there's this mummy.
Turns out this dungeon just has dead people in it. Sorry. Awesome. What song did you have them play at your funeral as you were lowered into the ground?
So there's a Brazilian musician called Belchior. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of him, but he's awesome. And there's a song by him called Sujeito de Sorte, that means lucky guy, and the lyrics literally say, like, last year I died, but this year I'm not gonna die. So I think that's appropriate.
Awesome. Love it. What is one game that someone else designed that you wanted to be buried with?
I want to be buried with every single copy with Cthulhu Tech, just so nobody else finds it again. So nobody has ever to go through what I went through with it.
Did you say Cthulhu Tech?
Did I?
Is that what it was?
I don't know. Am I gonna get sued?
No.
No.
I appreciate the forewarning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any insight into what you had to go through with it for the first time and what you're trying to help other people avoid?
So there are very edgelordy kind of stuff that takes really problematic stuff and just says it's part of the setting. So I went through some bad stuff when playing it because it's part of the setting. So yeah, don't want other people to go through this.
Awesome. That's probably, I mean, we've only had 4 answers so far, but I'm going to go ahead and say that may be the best answer I've heard so far. That's the most OSR creative use of an answer I have heard about what you want to be buried with out of all of them. If we all end up in some sort of Valhalla-like afterlife played one RPG for all eternity, what do you hope the theme and core mechanic of that RPG, and what are you drinking while we're playing it?
Well, I was gonna say beer, but since it's kind of like Valhalla, I'm gonna say mead because I drank mead for the first time last month, and it's amazing. So yeah, mead. I'm drinking mead, and I think I would get something simple and either something very thematic like Cthulhu Dark, or something that's very easy to hack for anything like Into the Odd or Bastionland and stuff like that.
Love it. Great answers. And this is a very broad question. What has inspired you during your life before you spontaneously combusted from anger? What was something that inspired you?
I think what inspires me are like all of the oppressed bodies, all of the marginalized lives that manage to live, to laugh, to love, despite the world wanting to break them. All of those who are loud when the world wants them to be silent, those who protect each other. I think those are the people who inspire me all the time to keep on, and that's why I chose my Ursula Le Guin, uh, the thing that you write on your tombstone. I forgot
Epitaph.
the name. Epitaph. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's why I chose that epitaph.
Awesome. And then I actually want to talk little bit more about that in just 1 second with some of the projects that at the time of this recording, I know in the future, you know how it all played out, are currently funding or are in process also too. But the last question we always ask, before we do that, I just want to open it up to anybody. If you have a question for Wendi, if you want to know a little bit more about their work, we're going to talk about their project for Exalted Funeral in just a second. We're going to talk about one of the other projects they have, or if there's something you want to be able to ask Jarrett or I in just a second when we talk about embalming for fun and profit, go ahead and drop those questions in the chat right now so we can go ahead and have those queued up. But if you have a question for Wendi, you have a question that comes up while we're talking a little bit more, go ahead and drop them in as we go so that I can pull from those. We'll pick a couple questions out and talk about them in our next segment. But with that said, Wendi, before we talk about your Exalted Funeral project, the Marvelous Mutations and Merry Musicians, there is a project at the time of this recording that is live right now that you're a part of also too, and that's the Lat Am Breakout. It's not an Exalted Funeral project, but it is a phenomenal project with a bunch of great creators. What can you tell us a little bit about that project and your contribution to it?
Yeah, the first thing I want to say about this project is that the Nazis are already pissed off with it. So please go back it so you can make the Nazis even more angry. So it's a collective project of 5 different games by 5 different Latin American creators. All of them are fake Latinas, woke SJW, imperialist, mentally ill, communist degenerates who want to play ideologically crazy story games. I have no idea what story games are in this context, but this is what the critics are talking. So go ahead
Got
and
some
pick.
solid feedback early on.
Yeah, go ahead and pick your copy. And my game, me being nobody worthwhile or important in any way in the gaming hobby, is Here There Be Monsters. And it's about, it's kind of a fuck you and a love letter to monster hunting media and urban fantasy in general. But you're the monsters being hunted and you gotta protect each other. It's it's based on my own experience being a fan of those kinds of works while feeling monstrous myself and trying to articulate those feelings in a way that I thought would be fun and that would hopefully be a celebration of monstrosity of all kinds. Monstrosity being like anything that's not seen as normal, not just queerness, but anything that's out of the ordinary as something to be cherished and protected and keeping the world weird and not making it all normal and boring.
Awesome. Love it. If people want to go check that out, that is over on Kickstarter live right now. It's the Lat Am Breakout. Yeah, there's people who have strong feelings about it. My strong feeling is I backed it right away and think it looks like a phenomenal collection by a bunch of people whose work I really enjoy and a couple people who I'd never heard of, but I'm super excited to find out more of their work, and all their other stuff that I've dug into since then looks great. So go check it out because it looks really good. But let's talk a little bit about the project that you did with Exalted Funeral, the Marvelous Mutations and Merry Musicians. For people who aren't familiar with the project, what is it all about?
It's about post-apocalyptic mutant musicians traveling around the world and getting into trouble.
Awesome.
I think that's the shortest answer I could give.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the kind of design influences that went into it? Maybe specifically, were there specific musical inspirations or songs that were kind of pouring into you as you were thinking about this? What made this something that you gravitated to for design?
Well, the first thing was my first strong influence was that I wanted to do weird sci-fi. I wanted to do something that I would like to see, and I'm completely a fan of people like Jeff Vandermeer and China Neville and all of those new weird fiction guys. And also, I'm 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 very much a fan of stuff like UVG and Bastionland, and I wanted to make a game like this, combining these experiences from fiction and games and stuff like that. But also, I wanted to do something music related because I love music. I in my academic research, I work with musicians also, and Brazilian musicians, and I didn't have like a genre or a band in mind. I wanted to make something that people could put their own influences, and it would have a place in that world because the world is so weird and full of wonder that any kind of music is fits inside it. But I had stuff like This Is Spinal Tap on my mind while writing it, as a kind of north for the feeling I wanted to give.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask this question to both you and Jarrett, because I think I'll be very interested in Jarrett's response also to it. If you could select a party of 3 to 4 musicians to play the game with, who would you want to pick? Who are 4 musicians? Let's say alive or dead, since we're used to summoning ghosts from across time. That you would want to sit down and play the game with. We'll go to Wendi first, and then Jarrett, I do want to hear your answer in a second, also too.
Whoa, that's hard. Just 3?
Yeah, just 3. You got. I mean, you can have a couple of them duel to the death to see who actually gets to sit at the table if you want. But yeah, just a couple of names that jump out at you.
Yeah, I'd make David Gilmour and Roger Waters duel to death to get a seat at the table, and whoever wins, I'm fine with that. But I'm kind of rooting for David. But
I'm over here doing this. Yes, because Sid Barrett is my first choice. I actually bought the repressing of Saucerful this morning. It was record store day, and I went over to my friend Jason's record shop, and I bought. Yeah.
I'm dying of envy right now. I'm already dead, but I'm dying of envy. Also, I would love to play a game with Kate Bush because I just think she would be a marvelous player, and I would really be interested in what would be like to play with. I have a lot of names right now, but let's say, oh, I forgot his name, but the guy from The Clash,
Joe Strummer.
Yeah, Joe Strummer.
Awesome. All right, Jarrett. Any other names that you really want to? I mean, you gave us a little bit of a sneak peek. Who else? Who do you want to have sit down and play this game with?
Well, so yeah, Sid Barrett, Dolly Parton.
Oh my gosh!
Because just how I mean, what would you would just be like? I mean, you'd just be sitting there and just be like listening to her talk the whole time, and you'd be like, "Jeez." And then it might be cliche, but John Danielle from Mountain Goats, mostly because I love the shit out of John's work, always have, like always will. But I do know that John plays 5e D&D, but I would be like, can we just like not play 5e? Let's play Mothership. Let's play this adventure called Dead Planet, which was directly inspired by you and John Vanderslice's, Moon Colony Bloodbath. So
Awesome. I love that. The part of my brain, this is what I love about sitting down and talking to musicians. Like, I am aware of most of these names. The part of my brain that develops emotional attachments to music in strong ways doesn't work. Like, it's one of the few areas of both knowledge and experience that I'm like, I enjoy music. Like, I enjoy going to shows and other stuff like that. It does not retain emotional and inertia for me. And so I always love talking to people who are really into music and hearing their thoughts and other stuff like that around music. But Dolly Parton is also just such a great pick. And if people out there haven't listened to Dolly's America, which was a great NPR series, to understand why they should fully love Dolly Parton as much as they do, if the music isn't enough, I highly recommend that NPR docuseries. It's phenomenal.
That scroll of white paper over my shoulder there,
yeah,
is a big screen print of Dolly that I picked up a couple of weeks back at an art fair. This artist he had a bunch of like pop art type things. Like there was like what's her name from Breakfast at Tiffany's. But it was stuff like that, and like Marilyn and Donnie and Willie and all these people, but they were like these really like beautiful like pop art like screen print things. I'll grab it.
Audrey Hepburn. And also, I was gonna give you a Breakfast Club response, not a Breakfast at Tiffany's response.
Lots of breakfast.
It's a very, very different answer if I would have said Ali Sheedy. And so, well.
I would also love to play with Bob Marley.
You'd love to play, yeah.
He would have to run the game.
Yeah, is the GM. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I know. I saw it and I was just like insta buy. The artist's name is Dane Shue, Shue.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm excited for getting that framed up at some point. I think I might rearrange back in the corner and just put her right over there. So Dolly's looking over my shoulder every time I do a show.
Awesome. So we've got a great question. What led you, Wendi, to want to develop the framework of Apotheosis Janitors, MMNMM? And
it's pronounced
and now your Kickstarter project under the umbrella of MWM.
So, first thing, I have a jam going on right now for any game using that framework, inspired by any word that starts with the letter M. So go check it out. It's made with M, jam. And if I'm gonna be honest, what inspired me was procrastination. Because I also work as a screenwriter, and I had this script I had to write and to work on, and I wasn't very much feeling up to it. So I started procrastinating, and I decided I would like to see how when you have screenwriting classes and you read screenwriting books, they give you some rules, and those rules are really just tools for you to use. And I see RPG rules the same way, so I thought, would it work if I used some of those narrative rules for screenwriting as RPG rules? And the system that I used started like that. And then the game that I played and ran the most was Fate Car. And I love using tags like the aspects in Fate Core, but I kind of hate everything else about the system. Mostly the meta economy with the fate points and stuff, because the games start just just being about it. But I wanted to use that, so I stole the aspect thing as tags, and that was it.
Awesome. I love it. If you drop me over on Discord real quick, a link to the jam, I'll drop a link to everybody else so they can check that out. Also too. But no, I love that. And I love seeing people take experiences from outside of the RPG space and start to work them in and incorporate them into the work that they do. Cause I think that's where we see a lot of push happen in actual design, is when we are not just looking at, hey, here's RPGs that I love, but other branches of thought, study, and interest, and then trying to say, how do we bring that in to the games that we're making? So I absolutely love that. Lupin says, I have 3 MWM game projects right now. Panic Pillow says, great picks all around. Their own picks would have been Woody Guthrie, Thelonious Monk, and Stephanie Pott, which I may have mispronounced also too. But yeah, if anybody else has thoughts on people they want to play the game with, please drop them down in there also too. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, hit follow and then hit !FParty to get entered into our drawings in just a second. We've got a big bunch of scratch and dent things that we're giving away. One's a zine pack with games from some phenomenal creators. One's a copy of Into the Odd, Electric Bastion Land, and a couple of other great setting books also too, as well as Jarrett is giving away a copy of his favorite program for PDF editing.
Master PDF Editor Pro.
Master PDF Editor. We're going to be doing that in just 1 second as well. And then we also have a part 2 to our time together today. If you're anybody who's sticking around for that, we're going to have some more giveaways during that as well. But
Can I join the giveaway?
Do what? You can join the
Can
giveaway.
I join?
You can join the giveaway.
Because I won the free stuff.
I mean, I know you're already dead, so you know if you won the giveaway or not in the past, but you can absolutely tell past you to enter the giveaway now if you want to. But yeah, go ahead and hit follow on the channel and then hit !FParty to get entered into a chance to win that. With that said, we're running a little short on time because we started a little bit late today. So I think we're going to skip our embalming for fun and profit segment today. We're going to jump straight to dark hexpressions.
Yeah, music.
Music playing for everybody but us. All right, on Dark Expressions, we sit down with our guest and we work with them and the viewing audience to generate a single hex of a hex crawl based on their work and their things. Also, anybody who's trying to enter, it is !F as in funeral party. So you got to make sure you got to get the F in there or it won't work. And so with that said, I'm going to pop up our little working document. So again, we're going to create a singular hex based on your work or your preferences. So if it's something outside of your work or something you're still working on, we can do that. But we're going to think about it, that specific hex. What is the vibe of your hex? So if there's going to be a hex, Wendi, based on your work specifically, what's the vibe?
It would be very weird and organic and kind of dark.
And kind of what?
Dark.
Dark. All right, so we got weird, organic, and dark. What's unique about it? Like, what's something about this space that we would see almost nowhere else?
It's alive.
It's alive. All right. What is the weather like in this space, or what are a couple different types of weather that people encounter here?
In honor of where I am right now, which is Brazil in summer, the weather is very hot and humid, and you need a fan because it's very hot and humid.
That's good adventuring advice. Like, you need a fan, bring one with you. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have that with them. What's 1 to 3 physical locations that we would see in the space?
Mm.
Like, this could be big things that dominate the landscape, or a whole bunch of really small things. But what are some of the physical features or locations we might see?
There's the corpse of a giant, ancient biological weapon that that looks like kind of a giant person, and that body is a dungeon in itself. And there's a small town, small village, a fishing village, I think, and a graveyard.
Is there a name for the small town?
I'm bad with names.
That's fine. Chat, tell us the name of this small town. Awesome. So what we're going to try to create at least D4. It says D6. That's where we start, is D4. Encounters people might have there. So this could be, these could be things they have to overcome. This could be traps. This could also just be NPCs or other things that they might meet. It doesn't have to be, but it should, we're going to do NPCs specifically. So not NPCs, I guess, groups or other things they might meet, but what are some encounters they might have?
4?
At least 4. And again, we can ask chat for help.
We can also cheat and do what I'm doing, and is use because it's got all those wonderful tables. I'm getting ahead on the NPCs, and I was like, shit, I could just roll these up on here.
Yeah, there are great tables, so go buy it so you can
exactly.
So you can cheat. Yeah, we can absolutely pull from stuff you've already created. This does not have to be bespoke. The proposed name in the chat so far is Libster, Lybstr.
Libster, okay.
All right.
Sure.
Thriftomancer says we always need a capybara encounter. The maps are there capybaras in this area?
Yeah, I'm from Brazil, so there's capybaras for sure. Also, I think, let me roll here. I think there's a stinky mollusk that is in love with you. So yeah, there's this bad smelling octopus that's just in love with you, and maybe a flesh golem in the graveyard.
Ooh, flesh golem in the,
because I love flashy stuff.
Graveyard. All right. Chat's got a lot of strong feelings about capybaras and how important they are. That's great, chat. Tell me what the encounter is. Like, is this a capybara petting zoo? Are the capybaras up to no good? You got to tell us. You got to tell us, chat.
You got regular capybaras. You've got super capybaras. You've got mech capybaras. Like, I mean, that's it. That's all you need.
They're all vying for control of the region.
Yep.
Oops, all capybaras. Are you asking me or the chat?
I was asking chat.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Yeah, you don't have to come up with what the capybaras are doing. They brought capybaras into this. They can figure out what the capybaras are doing. So we need one more encounter.
One more encounter. It's a cult, because I love cults, and it's the cult of the dark skeleton. So yeah, they just found an old obsidian dark huge skeleton, like 3 meters tall, and they just worship it. And the way they worship it is they wear bones all over their body. They don't wear clothes, just bones. Animal bones, human bones, whatever. So they can't be stealthy because it's all clack because of the bones.
I love that. All right. 1 to 2 NPCs we might encounter here.
1 or 2 NPCs. There's these drunk cultist of the cult that I just mentioned that I already forgot the name. And he wants to play a game with you. He wants to play a game of Here There Be Monsters, a game that he just saw in a vision when he was in a trance, and a voice told him that this game was going to change his life, so he wants to play that game. There's also a desperate writer who's in search of inspiration, and she's just procrastinating writing her novel, but she tells you that she's working on it. But yeah, she's traveling around these hexes trying to find inspiration. And one more?
Sure.
There's this hippie lizard who is not what they seem. I'm using my tables. But the hippie lizard who's not what they seem is actually not a lizard, but an amphibian. And they're just trying to go on with their lives and be accepted by what they are as an amphibian and stop trying to pretend they're a lizard.
Love it. All right, so chat, you tell us some names for these folks. We got a cultist who wants to play a game of Here There Be Monsters with you, a desperate writer in search of inspiration. She says she's working on it but is procrastinating, and a hippie lizard who's actually an amphibian. And so tell us what their names are. What is oh, I put those in the wrong place. We need D4 pieces of loot. So what are some things people might find in this hex when they're digging around?
They can find an old guitar, which is magical, and it's always tuned, and the strings never break, which would be great. There's this, you know what? I'm gonna give you a preview of Here There Be Monsters and just grab something from there. There's a giant eyeball which you can rub any person's bodily fluids over it, and it's gonna show you whatever that person is seeing right now. And a pair of sneakers that can walk on any surface in whatever angle. Oh, it's D4, right? So one more. There's a plushie. I'm looking around my room. There's a a plushie of a llama, and it talks to you, and it's creepy. It's not cute. It wants to be cute. It wants you to think it's cute, but it's not.
Awesome. All right, so we've got a old guitar that's magically always tuned and the strings never break, a giant eyeball that you can smear with someone's bodily fluids and it'll show you what they're currently seeing, a pair of sneakers that can walk on anything at any angle, and a plushie of Yama that talks to you and is creepy. Here's, at the end of the day, here's the big question, and I know you're not a big fan of naming. What should this entire hex be called? What's the name of the Wendi you hex?
It's the hellhole.
Awesome. All right, the hellhole. Chat did come back with the cultist name is Lino. If anybody else has more ideas for what the NPCs should be named, hit us up. We're going to sign off of this part of our section in just this part of our show in just 1 second. But before we do that, we are going to pick a couple winners. If you haven't yet, hit follow for the channel and hit !FParty. What's going to happen next is in just a minute after we pick some winners and sign off, we're going to take about a 15-minute break, and then we're going to come back with our good friends Josh Demansky and Richard Ruane, and we are going to play Zed and Two Knots. So Jarrett, for people who are not familiar with Zed and Two Knots, tell us a little bit about it.
See, and that was the secret that I was saving. It is one of the new EF holiday sale exclusives. It is a 0-level funnel inspired by, DCC system and others, but written and designed with OSE in mind. Riley and Josh pitched it, and I was just like, yes and yes, because I absolutely I've run probably 300 games of DCC like in my life, like publicly, like funnels, like tournament funnels, zeros. I've always loved the concept of like, here's a bunch of characters, we're gonna grind them up and we'll see what happens. It's just it's a great fun way to introduce that to characters. I love OSC. Obviously grew up learning to play BX eons ago, and it's a fantastic, great new thing, a great little stepping stone into it. And Andrew Walter did some amazing, fabulous art. Matt Kay did an amazing job of editing. I just stood back and kind of watched from afar as they did it. I purposefully did not read it past, the early pitches and stuff like that, because I'm a person who likes to pick things up, have the physical, and just be fresh in my mind and run it at the table. I'm a negative prep GM, if that's even possible. Like I just, people are like, oh, you're gonna run Mothership tonight, and they're like, what are you gonna prep and run? I was like, I'm not. I don't want to think about it. Yeah. I like to do it kind of whatever happens at the table, whatever. At best I'll write down a few prompts, and so I purposely have not read Zed and Two Knots, and now that I get to play in it, I'm even more excited and happy that I didn't read it.
Whenever you run Dead Planet, you pick up the module at the very beginning and burn a page out of it. That's how you get negative.
Yeah.
You're like that information doesn't even exist anymore.
What's Dead Planet? I don't even know.
Awesome. So yeah, we've got Wendi who's joining us for that. We've got Jarrett who's going to be here with us. So the three of us will still be here. We've got two friends who are joining us. I'm going to move a bunch of stuff around. We're going to come back and we're going to have a couple giveaway copies there. So if you have already ordered it, you're going to be able to get excited about it. You get a copy you can give to a friend or something else like that, or just join us live. And then it's one more thing that you don't have to buy when you put your order in later, and you can spend that money on iToaster or on something else that is delightful over on Exalted Funeral right now. That's going to be 50% off. So check it out.
Please buy my game.
Buy the game. And so here we go. Let's pick a couple of winners. This one's going to be, what is this one going to be for?
This will be for Electric Bastion Land.
It's going to be for Electric Bastion Land. Pick winner. We've got Duvelman Dice, who picked up a copy of that, who I'm super excited about. I've been enjoying your pulling out the dice that you've been making recently too, over on TikTok also too, if you aren't following them. Or take the money you were going to spend on that and go back the LATAM breakout. That's a great idea. From Derek. And so, all right.
Take it to the Nazis.
What do we got next?
We got the UVG soft cover.
The UVG soft cover. Wait, I don't know what I'm doing. Close. No, hold on. Don't do it. Pick winner. Hydrangea Blush. You won. So, by the way, if you're a winner, reach out to me. If you know Jarrett and you're friends with him on Discord, you can reach out to him directly as long as your name matches your name here on Discord. Otherwise, reach out to me and I'll get you connected once I can validate who you are and that you're not, a thievy person. But Hydrangea Blush, you won that copy of UVG. Jarrett, what we got next?
Cthulhu Dark.
Cthulhu Dark. Alfred Valley, who I'm a big fan of. Thanks for joining us today, Alfred. You have won that copy of Cthulhu Dark. And then we've got the Zine Pack next. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jono Redbeard. I'm always a big fan of a beard, whether it's red or otherwise. So I'm super glad that you won. Reach out to me here or on over on Discord. Either way, Discord's way easier for me to keep track of rather than looking here for messages also too. Lots of people who are excited in the chat. And the last thing we've got is that giveaway from Jarrett himself, the program that is called
Master PDF Editor Pro.
And the winner of that is our good buddy Riley, who is one of the other designers of Zed and Two Knots, who hopefully can use that. So that's all of the giveaways that we have right now. I will go through again every time we announce the funeral party. If you retweet the first tweet that goes out about that, you get a chance to win. I'll pick that later on today. But also, if you stick around, I'm going to keep these entries in for Zed and Two Knots also too. And I am going to, we'll have some other people who hop in. So we're going to take about a 17-minute break in just a second, and we're going to come back at 30 after the hour, dive back in. It gives us a chance to get up, move around, walk around, do all that stuff. If you need to get up, move around, walk around, do all that stuff, take care of yourself. But until next time, remember that alive or dead, we'll see you at the next
funeral party. We 4 episodes. Right. We still
right. Because we never talk about how to skew it up.
I know.
What we should do is we're going to talk about it right now. We should do like one of us says the first part, one of us says the middle part, and then we both say the last part. So do you want me to do and remember, and then you do alive or dead?
Okay.
And then we'll see you at the next funeral party. Do you want to do it that way?
All right.
And remember,
alive or dead,
we'll see you at the next funeral party.
See, did I stepped on you?
It's closer. It's closer. But we're gonna get there. Everybody's excited about it. And so, all right, folks, thanks for coming. We will see y'all. We'll see y'all at the next funeral party.
Yeah.